All right. All right. All right, you guys.
Hey.
I know. How's the wooden table talk doing?
Good.
Pretty good.
Ready.
Ready.
Yeah. All right. So my name is Jay Lastimosa, and this is the Wooden Table Talk. I am an actor here in the Bay Area.
My name is Brittany. I am a singer-songwriter. I work in finance.
My name is Cheryl, and I'm currently an office manager, but my passion is also doing makeup. I'm a makeup artist.
Yo, what's up? My name is Eric. I'm from the Bay Area, and I'm a recruiter.
All right, you guys. Thank you so much. So today's episode is called Quarantine.
Woo.
I've been stuck in quarantine for like almost 2 months. I would say 2 years, right? And we've been trying to do this podcast recording for
a while.
For a while. I say 2019 BC.
Right.
BC as in before Corona. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Right.
But now we have the chance. So today is our first episode, and we wanted to make this debut very special. So yeah, let's talk about quarantine. How's everyone doing on quarantine?
Woo. It's definitely been a new journey.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a lot of adjusting. I feel like the way we think, the way we go about our everyday routine is completely changed. So I think that it definitely took an adjustment for me to kind of like find a new rhythm.
Right.
And not being on the road so much, you know, like we're so used to eating, at least for me. And it's now more so like walking to the kitchen to get some snacks. Like, I mean, it's so definitely less active.
Right.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I know, it's so weird, right? Like we were always outside. We had like this routine to just like always get up and do this. And it's a difference between like looking forward to doing something and not looking forward to, because you know when you have a job, it's like, oh, I have to get up.
Yeah.
But it's so weird because now I kind of miss that, you know?
Right.
But
at the same time, I don't like that.
Right.
I'd rather be working at home.
We always want what we don't have.
Exactly.
You know?
Right, exactly.
Now nobody wants to stay in. It's like no vacation, but it's overstayed.
Yeah, it's like that movie Tiger King. Like you get all prison. Like he made a quote. He's saying like, "Oh, be caged like an animal or like a monkey, and then see how it feels." It's hard.
It's definitely overwhelming. You know, I know for me, it's the first and second day that it just sunk in the second day, and I was just like, you know what, I got to get up. I got to start making a routine for myself. And the best way I found out was exercise. Like that really just gets me going, gets me motivated, gets me positive. But it's so scary.
It is.
Girl, totally.
Yeah.
I think for me, like I really miss like human interactions like the most, like going to like my local bar or like going to, even to the restaurant and like, you know, just meeting with a friend out in the public eye versus over like DC is just so like surreal at this point.
Yeah.
I think we can all relate to that because, you know, as us being so close, that would be something that we would do. Like, hey, like let's meet up, even if it's spontaneous.
Right.
And it's not something that we can do anymore. And human interaction is definitely different from virtual interaction. It's not as personal or intimate as it can be. And, you know, things can get lost in translation. And I just feel like it's different. And I do miss that a lot. Something that, you know, we do take for granted. Like, I mean, do you guys keep in touch with anyone physically? I mean, other than, you know,
oh no, not physically.
Like, you know, live with or anything.
Stay away.
Maybe Instacart. That's about it.
Right. DoorDash.
Right.
Right. DoorDash.
And I mean, DoorDash, you guys go to the grocery store still, or like,
I still get my
how does that
Starbucks.
work?
Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna take that chance.
Right.
Oh yeah.
I'll still go out and like jog because I just can't not be one with nature, you know?
Yeah.
And sometimes even just going up the hill back and down, or going up and down the stairs, I feel like that like awakens my body and makes me feel a little bit more energized to continue my day. So that's what I find very, you know, comforting, as far as like not being constrained to just like walls.
Exactly. Like I definitely,
So these, like,
I was just saying, I definitely feel Sharon. You, Cheryl. I
can be Sharon.
The wine.
Call me Sharon.
Okay.
Sharon.
Right.
As an earth sign.
I mean, are these things that you guys doing to keep yourself sane? Like, what are other things? I mean, for me, like to keep myself sane is like, I find creative writing to be one of my passions. So I'm constantly writing.
Exactly.
I'm probably finished with like 5 novels right now, but I'm constantly writing.
Wow.
I write scripts, I write stories. I'm doing a quarantine chapter for my book.
Right.
But I think it's because it's hard to, for me, it's like it's hard to express. You know, it's hard to physically and emotionally express because it's what become a routine for human interaction. It's not there anymore. You know, there's no physical human interaction. There's no emotional interaction unless you have a significant other.
Yeah.
But even then, they're going through the situation too. So you don't know the connectivity of it.
Right.
But I feel the only way for me to keep sane is to physically write it and see it. And you know, sometimes there's points I was going insane. Can you talk about a time you guys went insane like one day during this quarantine?
I think the first and second day, I was just like, is this my life? Like, no. Definitely because I moved too. So all together, you know, moving a new place and just dealing with, you know, you can't go outside. And like Cheryl was saying, you know, we're earth signs, we're Tauruses. So we have to be in one with nature, you know?
Yeah.
And it's one thing being one with nature and then being paranoid because some people are not even going outside. And I'm just like, I have to, as long as I'm not near somebody or at the park, you know, where germs are still there. It's like, it's okay. You can still go outside for a run. So.
Yeah, and it's
just
not like you're there
apart.
for hours and
right.
It's not like you're there hours and hours and hours on end. You know, you need that, you know, that connection with nature. And also for me, I just feel like I could breathe fresh air. I can actually like, you know, meditate a little. Like it's just refreshing. And I feel like I can't take that out of my daily routine. You know?
Right.
But for me, as far as like the whole like, are we going insane? You know, for me, I don't know. I've just been bombarded with a lot of like projects. I feel like with my current job, I'm still working from home. So they find new things to like assign me with that I wish I can have more time to work on my creative side and like, you know, work on like makeup projects and stuff. And sometimes I feel like I can't even do that because they're taking advantage of the fact that like, oh, well, now we're working from home. Maybe Cheryl can like take over some of these things. So for me, I think that's why the going crazy didn't really hit me until the end of like maybe the second week. And that's when it hit me like all at once. Like all at once, I was like, wow. Like now that I feel like I've done a lot, like I kind of want to like treat myself, or like if I wanted to go get a manicure, pedicure, I can't do that. Or like, let me just like, you know, like grab some apps and drinks with someone. I can like, that's not an option. And then that's when it like hit me and I felt like, I don't know, like I was imprisoned or something. Like I couldn't. Like I'm just working just to work, you know? But it's just, it devastates me because I just, it, especially this time of the year, it's like springtime and, you kind of want to be out, go on trips. And I cannot do that. And I think that's starting to hit me more and more every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think just like you, Cheryl, for me, like the second week is when it started, because I felt like the first week was fine. I was cruising. I was still like leaving my apartment, like going to coffee shops to get my work done, going to my friend's house, like, but like that second week when it was just like made like mandated, like, hey, you have to work from home, and like, you really should not even leave, and like all like your local like businesses, like the coffee shops and like all these restaurants started closing. I was just like, oh shit, like shit just got fucking real right now, right? Like I have to stay in the house. And like, as much as I appreciate working from home and as blessed as I am to work from home, like I'm someone that likes to just be out there. Like I can't really focus at home because I get very fucking comfortable, and like I'm like, damn, like I'll go to sleep or I'll watch Netflix or like talk on the phone. But yeah, like I think the second week I started going like super crazy. So although I am busy with work, again, it's just like being able to really go out, not just like a walk or like walking your dog, just really like hanging out with friends or just like going to the beach, like the parks are even closed. Like it's just so crazy.
It's crazy.
So just on that level,
just to
like,
kind of wind down.
Yeah.
This is it, you guys. The shift has happened, and it's like people are either gonna come out of this sinking or swimming, fat or skinny. Business people.
It's gonna be one extreme or the other.
Yeah,
right. Like 1 grain of rice a day just to keep my rations okay.
Sure. And that first herd, who that everything's gonna be open April 30th. People are sitting back like, all right, you can go.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
wow.
See,
I
that's
didn't
another
know
thing,
that.
though. Like, do you feel like everything's gonna go back to normal when this quarantine is over? They said May 3rd.
Yeah.
But I feel like everyone's gonna be a little like iffy a little bit. People are gonna still have that standard where it's like, I need to stay away 6 feet still. I don't know, blah, blah, blah. Now they're saying that, so it's hard to believe that everything will be back to normal.
Yeah, I definitely think a lot of companies now are going to have to deal with the reality of employees working from home,
Yeah.
It's just something that's going to be in our favor. And as far as you feel me? As far as people, I think you're going to have to learn how to follow instructions more on a nationwide level. As if you think about it, a lot of people weren't prepared. People didn't have a full tank of gas. People didn't have toilet paper, and a first aid kit maybe in the car. You have to think about these things. What about if your family's spread across, maybe in the States, outside the States? Do you guys have a meetup house? Like, I think it's just put people on alert, and there's nothing better than having situations that you learn from. So they try to throw this at us. Mother Nature tries to throw this at us again. You're like, all right, we're ready. Sure.
Right. I feel like this definitely opened up the possibility of like damn near any like person that has a job, no matter what the industry is, for the most part, can work remotely. For the most part, I say that quite loosely, because it's not every job industry, but like like I have friends that work at like like I don't want to put this out, but like IKEA, and like can work from home, like literally like working inside of an IKEA store and can work from home, and like that opened up the possibility. It's like, wow, like really, that's cool though, super cool.
See, I was a word because I'm a working actor, and I really focus a lot of my time and energy developing myself as an actor. And I was thinking to myself, like, I had a mental breakdown like not too long ago. I was like, oh, the industry is going to change. The term or the definition of celebrity or what it means to be an entertainer changed. It's not considered maybe at this point an essential. So how are we going to reinvent ourselves? And for me, I mean, I was like, oh, my career, I worked so hard for this career, and where is this going to be? But luckily, of course, the industry is not going to die. I mean, I've been getting emails and texts from my agent and manager saying like, we're actually finding a new way to cast people on the news. I got an audition for NCIS LA.
Nice,
you know?
nice.
Wow.
Okay, Jade.
And that's
Okay.
And now everything's online. It's
Right.
for social media. So I think that's the new wave. Unfortunately, it's less human interaction because I love physically auditioning, standing in front of a casting director and being myself. But at the same time, it's something that we have to adapt. And I think that's the number one thing. Like, our world has been turned not upside down, just different.
Yeah.
Right.
And we have to adapt to it. And that's what it's difficult and it's hard for us because we had this strategic foundation, this routine, and we had this level of understanding how we connect with people emotionally and all that stuff. But unfortunately, it's not going to be like that, you know? So, yeah.
Dealing with change.
Yeah, change. Absolutely. And, they say that, the recovery phase is definitely going to be a long time coming. What do you guys think about that? Because this is not like, okay, so shelter from home is lifted, right? Imagine now we're free to do whatever. It's not just gonna go back to the way it used to be in an instant. So I think it's obviously being mindful about, people still being sensitive about the topic. And I just feel like fear is so powerful that, it's still not gonna dissipate in people's minds. So I feel like it's gonna be a long road of recovery, meaning I think trust and being more faithful about like things going to be okay and not so because we can't control a lot of the things that are going on too as well, so I think everyone's mindset coming like out of this will be very, it'll be different across the board. So I think we just need to be, mindful, careful, because people are fragile, we're all fragile, but I think we should still, continue to, spread positivity and be encouraging of, still living your life, still, going after your dreams, going, after your goals and being able to trust people again, because, even going out, like for me, like just to get gas or something, like people are just so fearful. And I think like for people to like live a life that way for the past couple months, you can't shake that off, so quickly. So I just feel like, it's going to be a long time coming. It might even take a year. I don't know where I heard this from. It might even take a couple years for it to be back in shape.
Wow.
Oh my God, can you imagine bars and clubs like when it opens up
this
again?
Is like, everyone's like,
oh my God,
we're gonna have to dance
like
6 feet away from each other.
Right.
Yeah, like I see you. Like
right.
Just stay there.
So different.
Right.
Yeah. Just stay there.
Right.
Right. 6 feet away.
Like, what's your name? I think you're cute. Like, 10 feet
oh my gosh,
the
the hookup culture is going to be so different.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like
your status is going to say like
all sign language.
I practice 6 feet away. Oh, that's the one.
Right.
Oh, that's the one.
Well, you know what? That kind of brings up a question. Like, I want to ask you guys in terms of like, once this is all over with and like, like actually trying to like go on a date with someone and kind of being fearful and being 6 feet apart. In this current time, like, how have you guys been coping in terms of like, whether you're single or if you're in a relationship, like, how has that been working for you? Are you tired of your spouse if you are in a relationship? Like, if you're single, like, are you craving attention from someone and not sliding through Tinder? Like, but I don't know. Like, I want to hear everybody's perspective.
Okay.
Please share.
I feel like my quarantine bae is like my husband, of course. So, it's like the weekend every day. It's corny. I have
We finally got them on lock. We finally got them to stay home.
Right.
Sure.
Facts.
It's definitely like bringing us even more closer, doing hobbies together. Like I said, working out, we get up, work out together, we write music together. So it's been like a honeymoon.
Oh, okay. Aw.
A no budget
That's
honeymoon.
awesome.
What about you guys?
So cute.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Not much has changed for me. I mean, obviously, like, don't have anyone, so I do focus a lot of my time with like my sister. We've gotten to bond like a lot more, which I'm super grateful for. I mean, we do get on each other's nerves a lot quicker, but then we get over it quicker too.
Right.
Versus if we don't see each other, it just kind of lingers.
Yeah.
And it goes on for maybe even days, but like now it only goes on for like minutes or hours, and then we're over it, and then we talk about next topic. And like, so I love that. Yeah, do I crave attention? Like, duh, like who doesn't? But I'm not, I don't know, for me, I've just never been the one to like, I don't know, I just don't reach out. I'm not on any like dating apps or any of that. I'm just living life authentically and being productive with things that I wasn't never able to do when I was always on the go. So I've gotten to do like a lot of like cleaning, organizing, like organizing my like little makeup like cases and stuff, and just like, I don't know, just kind of like discovering things that, oh my God, like I forgot I had this. And then like putting aside things that I don't want anymore that I can possibly like donate, just like little things like that make the big differences,
Yeah. I think for me, like, the good thing is that, we're able to feed off each other. And I mean, I'm an introvert, so I love to just play video games and watch TV or just write. And I think what helps is that we both respect our creative outlets, and we're always constantly finding ways to accept the different paths of ambitions and, the motivations that we do still have. But the whole thing is constantly just reinventing yourself. So it's just fortunate to have the quarantine where when you come up with an idea or come up with something, that it's accepted, that it's being pushed, rather than like, well, there's a zombie outside, what are you gonna do, blah blah blah. But that's not the case.
Yeah.
But it's a learning process, and I think overall, we're both gonna get out of this strong as a couple. But it also teaches a lot about myself. And I think spiritually, and just where to focus my energy and my work.
Right.
Exactly.
No,
exactly.
I mean, do I go crazy or like want to strangle? No. I mean,
it's hard.
Okay. I love that.
I mean, I don't strangle. I don't condone physical violence.
Yeah, we want both you guys to come there live, okay? We want to see both of y'all.
Right.
So it's just what I love is just the fact that, we're able to respect the space and the creative process. If one of the things that was hard for me was to really accept change at first, and I had to take this situation for the grain of salt. I had to take a situation where I couldn't control it. And what I had to learn, especially with my quarantine bae, is how we are going to adapt to this together instead of separately. So, and I think, so that's what I learned. I mean, it took me a couple of days, but I survived.
As long as you got there.
Aw.
Aw.
How about you, Eric? How's it for you?
Yeah.
I think for me, representing, you know, another single person, just like Cheryl. Hey, girl, hey. No.
Hey, high five.
Right. You know what? It's actually surprising because I thought I would be more like, oh my God, like this is crazy. Like I need some sort of attention, you know? Like I'm a Libra, so like I just love like attention and just being, you know, with someone and around someone. But at the same time I'm like independent enough to like not really need it that much. And I think that side of me is kind of like overshadowed the other side, if that makes sense. Like I feel like I've been chilling. Like, yeah, I have been on Tinder because I need some sort of entertainment. And I mean, yeah, there are sites out there that can help me during this time of, you know, of need, but it's been cool. Like, you know, it's really been cool. Like I don't know. Like I feel like I'm really shocked, and I'm, you know, and I live alone as well, so it's just me and my dog. So it's like I'm literally like by myself, but I've been okay. You know, I've just been focusing on like bettering myself and reading a lot. And like, I definitely been reading a lot, which is good. And, you know, just really spending time on myself and focusing on, you know, how to better me. And, you know, I think that's the best way to be, because I feel like if I was like super, super needy, then I would be the type of person that would need someone that to make me whole, if that makes sense, or make my life whole. But like, you know, I think this time is needed for me personally, just to kind of like focus on myself and growth and, you know, to really understand myself even more so, because even at, you know, the age of 31, I still don't know myself completely 100%, you know? So yeah, I'm learning every day.
Yeah.
Hey y'all, everything happens for a reason, okay? I'm definitely very spiritual. So, you know, it's kind of like God saying, all right, everyone be still, you know, go with the flow.
Absolutely.
You can't do anything else, you know, just go with the flow.
Yeah.
That's how it's gonna happen.
Absolutely.
Right.
It's like,
you know,
so that's like the key.
And I mean, this is and I think like this is also a really beautiful time for everyone. I mean, I know we've heard all the crazy, scary stories, but it's also a beautiful time for everyone to like collaborate and really help each other out too. Like, you know, you've seen people like donate and like, you know, contribute whatever they can. So you see that good side of, I mean, like the silver lining to all this. You know, everyone getting closer than ever, you know, it's, you would not see that without a situation like this happening. And so it really opens your eyes, because, you know, like the other day, okay, so I did go to the grocery store, right? And I was walking down an aisle and I'm like, okay, is there anyone in me 6 feet? Like I make sure I'm like, and so when I went down this one aisle, I see a lady like reaching into like the fridge, like, mind you, she looks like she's at least 80. Like she's a little frail lady, and she's over here reaching for ice cream. And so she's like in there, like literally reaching into the back, that like her entire body is like almost into this fridge. And so like I go up to her because she looks like she's struggling, and like I hold the door open, but like 6 feet away, like 5 feet away, like, oh, I got it. And she's like, thank you, because she just wanted her ice cream, you know? But like little things like that, like, yes, keep your distance. But I was like, oh, this little lady needs some help, you know? Like, I feel like like seeing that act of kindness, regardless of what's going on, I think is, you know, is rare. But it's also like, it makes someone's day. And I feel like, you know, they say to kind of like reach out to someone that you haven't talked to, or just check up on people. And I think that really makes someone's day. So I'm really big on that. Like every day I try to like reach out to a couple of people I don't normally reach out to, and just like, you know, spread some positivity, because again, like I wouldn't normally do that when I'm so busy. And again, like going back to like what I do in my free time, like again, like I've caught myself doing like, okay, I have some free time, let me catch up on work. So for me, I need to find that work-life balance too, because the laptop is so readily available that I'm like, okay, I can do this one more thing, or this, you know, one more thing. And then before you know it, it's like late at night and I'm still doing something. And so I've learned to like cut off my time. Like, okay, this is the time where I work, and this time I'm gonna go get a, you know, go run. And this is a time where I'm gonna like catch up with my sister or whoever else. So like, I think finding like a new quarantine schedule will also be helpful. Like, okay, like it's this time of the day now, I can like, you know, spend some quality time or something like that. So yeah, I feel like, you know, doing something out of your comfort zone,
yes,
I think is also key.
Yeah.
Reaching out, spreading love, spreading, you know, act of kindness, I think is also going to help you feel better and make the world, you know, a better place, as cliche as that sounds.
yeah. And definitely one of my topics was going to be humanity, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Humanity. How
Mm-hmm.
is it going to affect you, and how do you guys feel that it'll affect everyone? Do you feel that people will become nicer? Do you feel like the world, because of this, is going to be better? Like, what do you think?
Mm-hmm.
This
I
is
mean,
a
it can go
technical
both
sentence.
ways.
Yeah, it can go both ways. But I feel
Because
like
some people,
this is a testament or a test to humanity in general. And I think those who are, I would say, adaptable enough will know that we will have to grow together as humans, you know, to
Right.
really challenge the barriers that we created before. And I mean, one of the things that I wanted to bring up that I was scared of was there's going to be a separation between those who are still going to utilize this moment, this pandemic, as a like xenophobia, or and there's people who utilize this moment to be like, all our barriers, everything has been torn down. We're all on the same level.
Right.
And we work together. And as hard as that it is to say that, it seems like it's true. You know, we have to know that we can evolve from this together. But there are those who are going to be like still pointing fingers, still talking shit, you know. So that's just my take. But I feel like majority of the people will, of course, help each other, you know, and change the way they view of everything, of people.
Yeah, I agree with you. I feel that, and it's funny, I was talking to one of my friends from high school about this the other night. It's going to be a big like divide, because I feel like people that have the resources to maintain during this pandemic will be okay, right? Once this is over. People that are still working, getting their check, right? But people that are not working during this pandemic, I feel like it's not going to be too well for them. All those mom and pop businesses that have to close their doors, that are not, you know, open for delivery right now, because not all of them are. It's going to change. So I feel like when we go back, you know, post COVID-19, I feel like it's going to be a huge like divide. You know, that bar, like I said, like that we really love going to may not be there, and we have to understand that, you know. So like Jade said, I hope that, you know, we can just come together. You know, like I've been seeing some stories on LinkedIn, like people that are in CEOs and CEO positions, you know, they've been like voluntarily donating their whole salary, you know, to their whole company, you know, so that they can make sure to make it throughout this, you know, this pandemic, which is great, you know. So, but I mean, to me, you know, some people are very selfish as well. Most people are, like, you know, in America, and I feel like that's unfortunate. So that's going to create the divide in terms of like, if anything, I'll say like this will really show like, you know, how strong we are together, and how well we can unify, right? No matter what demographic we come from, because at the end, people are going to be in need of this help, you know, so to get through it. So, you know, we'll see. But I will say, I'm surprised, or it's kind of interesting okay, so this is a slippery slope, right? So people are dying, and I understand that that's crazy, but like, there's a lot of benefits too, you know, right now for, you know, people that are less fortunate, and, you know, even middle class, like, you know, how you can be able to what is it, defer like your student loan, or like defer car payment, or defer, some landlords, you don't have to pay rent until this is over. So it's interesting how there's some benefits that, people were asking for prior to this.
Right.
And they were given like that no. So how do you guys feel about that? It's just interesting.
I don't know. I feel like it goes to show like everything that's supposed to happen happens. We needed money, we need money at this time. And because everyone is getting the stimulus, most people, it's going to kind of balance out, businesses, hopefully, because you're going to spend that money and it's going to go back. So they're just trying to kind of keep everything balanced. And everything that we wanted is coming into fruition. And I feel that's a blessing, as far as it continuing, as far as us getting that money every month, it might have to happen. It's just like, they know they have to give us money, but it's just like, they're not going to give us all at one time. They're going to be, okay, let's see what happens. And
yeah.
Yeah. I'm all for it. Hey, free money. Coronavirus. Sure. We all still here. Thank the Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that also comes to the thing where it's like, do you believe that we would start adapting to really understanding what it means to contribute to our essentials? Like, what is considered essential now? Back in the days, we'd always spend like expensive purses and clothing and cars and drinking expensive drinks. Do you think that that's going to be considered, it was never essential, but do you think that that would be still repetitive? Do you think that's going to still happen? Because now we're forced to understand what's considered essential. Like we have to pay, for food. We don't really pay for transportation. We can't go out.
Right.
So now that we're adapting to what we have to adapt that's essential, do you believe that those things from the luxuries that we used to have before this will still continue?
Of course, because people love, material things. But I feel like it's definitely a wake-up call, and people who do want to kind of change, right? Because it's hard to change, especially when you get older. So people who want to change are going to start to see that, what's essential, what's not essential, what do I need? Because you can't take it with you when you leave, when you die. So like if you would have died from COVID-19,
amen, girl.
You had millions of dollars. Are they gonna put it in the grave with you?
No.
My Instacart members have to go there with me in my grave.
They're gonna be all up in that money the next day.
I better be buried with my Hulu account, okay?
Okay.
Willow, stop barking.
I mean, I think, of course, people are going to be a lot more selective with what they choose as far as like, leisure money. But I think people are still going to spend, again, in a more selective manner. Necessities are definitely still going to be probably off the shelves for a while too. Like I feel like people are probably going to be a little bit more practical.
Right.
And I mean, I think that's how, everyone should probably be living regardless. But as far as like luxuries, I think there's still going to be a need for that or a want for that. But maybe not, like maybe a smaller percentage. Like people are still going to buy Teslas. I feel like people are still going to like want to go and buy like, treat themselves out to like a nice purse. It's not like they're going to go out of business.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like this world is just still going to appreciate things like the finer things in life. But, but maybe like in a more isolated way. I don't know. I just feel like clout is very much still so alive.
Yeah.
Right.
Very
Especially
much
during
so.
this time
And so,
too.
yeah, it's almost
Everyone's
like, let me
back.
flaunt what I have
Right.
at home in my closet. Like,
Right.
let me, so it's, yeah, when we talk about like purchases, I think, practical and non-practical purchases are still going to be very much around.
Do you guys
Yeah.
feel that you will when you walk out that door, whenever you feel like it's safe, do you feel like you're gonna be recognizable in a sense?
Oh, absolutely not.
Everybody's like, oh.
Well,
Absolutely not.
this is the first time I got dolled up in like almost a month. So,
Girl, sure.
girl.
Absolutely not. Unless there's some like speakeasy like salons and barbershops out there. I mean, that's super clean. I doubt it.
Yeah, literally, I have like 5 filters on right now, so you can't really tell. And I got a bandana. I look really raggedy. I haven't even cut my hair.
Right. Ooh, okay. Okay, Willow.
Oh. Would you ever let Clay cut your hair? Would you ever let Clay cut your hair?
Why did it get super quiet? Why did everybody get quiet?
I know. He's like,
I'll let him try once.
Really?
Okay.
Oh no.
I mean, that's
so
it's a once.
What?
I mean, here's the thing though. I can't even cut my hair because like, my agent and manager won't let me. I told you guys, I had a tantrum. I had a tantrum last time. I was like, cut my hair. They're like, no. I was like, I want to be myself.
I know. Let me be me. I don't see me in the mirror no more.
I like that length on you, Jade.
Yeah, looks rockerish.
Well, I'm trying to go like Jason Momoa length.
I'm
trying to get all raggedy.
Okay, this is the time.
This is the time to experiment.
Sure. Okay.
Are you gonna grow out your mustache like you did like a few years ago again, and then like have it?
Oh yeah, I had handlebars.
Really?
I had handlebars. I think we have like a picture together with them. Yeah.
Well, that was a little small. It was small, but last time, like before I cut it, it was like really long.
Okay, let's do a share screen.
I cried when I cut it.
Screen.
Huh?
Let me see if I can pull it up.
Can you share on the live
see
that photo?
Well, I think it's on your Instagram, Jade.
He's like, oh no.
You're gonna sell it on Instagram.
Any picture that I posted on Instagram is approved by me. So it's okay.
Okay, so let me just go on your gram real quick.
She's about to ruin my life.
Oh no.
I'm just kidding.
No, it's cute. It's probably not like the clearest picture because it was taken at night.
Yeah.
Like I'm really scrolling down because that's how long ago it was.
It's so funny because like you know how people post pictures of themselves when they're like all dolled up and everything. I want to see everyone post pictures of themselves during the quarantine.
I know.
Oh, right.
Like a
quarantine realness.
Oh my goodness. Well, when we did, this is literally the only time I've like got dolled up in literally like a month.
Well, this is so crazy. So that don't rush challenge, right? Okay, that don't rush challenge. People are like showing themselves like pre-quarantine, and then they're getting dolled up real quick. Have you guys been seeing that?
Oh,
I've seen how did that come about? Yeah, crazy.
I've seen so many of those. Those are so cool.
Yeah,
takes a lot of time to do it. You're like,
do that.
Right.
Like I ain't got the time.
Oh, I think we're getting close.
Proper makeup.
Okay,
and wigs
so
today.
Right. So while Cheryl's pulling up that photo of Jade,
really,
who have you guys been talking to, like on a day-to-day basis? Like, who do you find yourself in communication with the most during this time?
Myself.
Okay.
He's like, never.
Right on the wall.
The wall.
See that?
Oh wow.
You look like a chef.
Wait, let me like.
That's what I said.
The chef.
I was like, what do you look like a chef? I'm about to cook you a
Wow.
5-course
Isn't
meal.
that funny?
I'm surprised.
See, you could pull anything off, Jade.
Aw,
You could totally pull that off.
Sure.
Remember when you dyed your hair too?
Okay, let's not
It
get
was
to
like
that.
gray.
What color? Gray?
Pyramid
Wow.
time.
You'd be surprised. I dyed it like neon green, pink,
Oh, okay. I
brown,
haven't seen all that.
gray. I was bald too,
I've-
like super bald.
Oh
Really?
yeah, bald. I remember.
Wow.
Did you like that, being bald? Did you feel?
Well, I did it because for spiritual reasons. I had like every time I felt like I was like on a roadblock, I would have a Britney moment. I would just cut my hair and be like, oh, time for me
Wow.
to, you know.
You
So
love,
like a
love
Britney
yourself.
moment.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Become low maintenance.
I get it. I get it.
Mhm.
Eric, what was your
Yeah.
question?
I know, right? Okay, so during this time, like, who have you been communicating with the most? So Jade said himself.
Okay.
I'm not sure if that's his real answer or not, but
I
no shade.
mean, who do I communicate with? Like, well, in person, obviously, like the most is my sister and my parents, but virtually, like I'll have group chats, but mostly like my coworkers.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't, and my friends, like very small circle of friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, I'll randomly reach out, but those would be kind of like brief, you know, exchanges. But yeah, just my immediate family and my small circle of friends and my coworkers.
Yeah. Same
Yeah.
thing. Yeah. Just the people in my circle that I love, you know, family, friends, and definitely myself. Lord, if you don't got you, you ain't got nobody.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, girl, yes.
So.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Making that into a song.
I know. Praise and
We
worship.
can.
All right, y'all, let's talk about mental health. Now, I know we talked about COVID-19, but it seems like mental health, since we didn't have time. Now that we have time, do you guys take the time to meditate, pray? Like, do you find that you need that to just go through this? And do you feel like that'll be something that you kind of carry on after? And have you even started meditating or praying, or like, are you guys putting that into your day? I know for me, I think about it every day. I need to meditate. But I haven't. But I know that when I start, it's definitely going to be kind of like ammunition, you know, to put you on a different level, a high frequency, you know?
Right.
You know, definitely, because it's so easy to be negative, you know, and take the negativity and believe what you see on the news. My mother's constantly like, did you watch the news? I'm like,
girl, same.
I choose what I watch. I can't ingest anything, you know? But yeah, because disease comes when you're at a lower frequency, right?
Right.
So yeah.
Right.
So
Can you say that again? Can you say that again for the viewers?
Said, disease comes
Yes.
lower frequency. Okay.
Yes.
Bring it.
Wooden table talk.
Bring it.
Table talk.
To the wooden table talk.
Wooden table talk.
Love it.
But yeah, I think for me, I have bad anxiety, and I was afraid that my anxiety was gonna occur like every single day during this whole pandemic.
Yeah.
There are times where I'm just like laying in bed and I would start to feel like this, you know, my body going numb, and then my body started to feel tingly, and I'm like having short of breath, and I'm, oh no, I'm having an anxiety attack. You know, but I've learned to, like what you said, like kind of pick and choose what you want to hear from throughout this whole thing.
Right.
I mean, at first I was like, oh my God, what's the news? What's going on? The bad news, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And it's just all over the place to the point it's like I can't really pinpoint how I'm feeling about this right now.
Right.
So what I need to do is, you know, just take my deep breaths. I know for anybody who's watching this who has really bad anxiety, you know, like count to 10. Read something that's positive. What I always do, and it's what I always do is just watch something really kiddie. You know, I watch like Adventure Time. I watch
cartoons.
I watch Simpsons. I watched Moana the other day with my quarantine bae. You know, it really helps, and that relieves my anxiety. And it, you know, I sometimes look at Disney World stuff. You know, and it's so weird because I know I'm all old and not old, but I'm old enough to be like, you know, Disney is not really it. But there's always that magic that Disney has that make me feel like I'm okay. You know,
right.
I'm not trying to advertise Disney at all. I mean, pay for this, but Disney has always given me that.
Yeah.
You know, I go back to watch these kid movies or these kid games, and I feel great.
Yeah, I watched the.
And
Bee
I think
movie.
it's always trying to find that innocence. Oh, which one?
Which one?
Oh, I said I watched the
Which
Bee
movie did you watch?
The Bee movie with the bee.
What's that?
Bean?
Yeah, the bee.
Queen Bee?
No, it's a cartoon. It's a cartoon. It's called the Bee movie.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
That one that works hard and everything, and he doesn't want to work hard anymore.
He fell in love with a human. The bee fell in love with the human. But it had like different colors in it, and you know how colors play an effect with your mood, and it was
yeah,
great, you know. So it was nice.
Yeah,
for my anxiety, like So.
We're gonna have to like write a letter to a bee falling in love with a human. Okay.
I know.
I'm dead.
That's so
I know, funny. It was weird. I was like, okay.
But yeah, I agree. It was always nice to like, you know, relieve yourself from like the monotone, you know, everyday quarantine routine. Yeah, just getting lost in a good movie. Another thing that I do daily is listen to like, you know, really great podcasts or someone that you look up to. You can even do like a workout podcast, like if you are into yoga, a lot of people like, you know, getting involved with that, or watching like your favorite influencer. Most of my favorite influencers are all hilarious, so that always puts me in a good mood. And then for me, I do practice like praying every day. It does keep my mind at ease and, you know, bring me at a moment of peace, and knowing that I just need to let things go sometimes and know that everything is a part of our story, and you just got to let it right out and just trust that everything's going to be okay and everything is going to be in your timing. And so I place a lot of my like anxiety or you know, unsureness on prayer. So, and I find that super powerful. You know, just a quick little like, you know, prayer to God, just to know that, you know, someone's listening and someone is always, you know, there to hear your trivials in life.
Yeah. How about you, Eric?
I think besides prayer, for sure, that's number one. I do talk to my mom like on a regular basis, so like I think that helps me stay sane, just because like I feel like if she's okay, then I'm okay, if that makes sense. Like we have that connection. So like that helps me out as well, because for her, like she just beat cancer like a year ago, so like definitely making sure our insurance
Congrats.
I'll tell her. But ensuring that like her mental is okay, it just keeps me strong. And like outside of that, like, you know, like I talk to a small circle of friends here and there, but again, like you said, like YouTube for me is like one of the relievers. So like I love to watch YouTube and like all my favorite like influencers are there to make me laugh, or if they're doing like
name one of them.
Name one
Who's
of
one
them.
of them?
Yeah.
There's so many. So your boy Nunu is one. This girl High and Low Looks is another one. It's just so many. The Glam Twins TV. It's funny. I actually just sent something right now. Let me go that. But yeah, like I just love like watching like anything to make me happy, and then also cartoons. And my child, my baby, my dog, my daughter, you know, she makes me happy too during this time. Like I love her so much. So
yeah.
Where's she at? Right here. We want to say hi, Willow. Come here. Well, she's been barking here now.
Willow, I love that name.
I know.
Hi.
Hi.
Hey,
Hi. Willow, look. Say hi.
She's like, wow.
Right, and she loves having me here every day, all day. So
I'm sure.
But yeah,
no,
like
I wanted a hamster.
Get a hamster.
I mean, go get one.
Okay, let me ask you, Jade. If you got a hamster, what would you name your hamster?
Oh my gosh, I don't know. Round thing.
Round thing. Round thing.
I'm dead.
Wait, isn't it more oval? Like,
I mean, if we're gonna choose a specific shape, if we're gonna get technical like that, yeah, but just round.
Just round.
Round thing.
I would have like deep ass conversations with my hamster too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's dope.
Hey, round thing.
You guys ever wanted a fish?
Oh, I had a fish.
Yeah, I had a fish.
I did too.
I never had a fish.
You never had a fish?
I had birds.
Oh, okay, birds are better.
Yeah,
birds are better.
What kind of birds?
Cherokee. Well, wait, weren't they? Yeah, they were Cherokee. You know, cheap birds that you go into Petco and you see. Those birds that are like cheap. Yeah. The first bird.
What did you name your bird?
The first one was Chi Chi. My sister's bird's name was Peppy, so it was Peppy and Chi Chi. And we didn't feed them. We forgot when we were younger, and they were eating their own doo-doo.
Oh my god, that's horrible.
Totally not expecting that.
But then I ended up feeding them, and then all of a sudden, like when I started, my bird died. I was so upset. I started crying. Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
And then I got another one, and I named her Diamond. And then it died again, but my sister's bird was still alive. So I'm thinking like
animals for your birthday.
Like, what's the tea?
No. I thought it was me my whole life, and then my aunt that took my sister's bird was like, "No, that bird just had a disease that, so it killed all my aunt's birds too, and that bird was the last one standing." I was like,
"Oh no!"
I thought it was me that I could take care of
goodness.
birds, but it was the bird that had the disease that was killing my birds. R.I.P. Chi-Chi and
That's
Diamond.
hilarious.
R.I.P. Diamond.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. Diamond.
Yeah. Diamond.
Diamond. Oh.
It's hot.
Yeah.
But yeah, hamsters would have been cool. I had a dog. I had a Yorkie Terrier.
Yeah.
So sad. It was my son. I used to call him Tootsie Poo.
What?
Aww.
Well, his name was Troy, but his nickname was Tootsie Poo.
Oh, cute.
Tootsie Poo. And he would answer to both.
What? Yeah, he would answer to both. Sometimes he would just answer to my stare. I would just look at him and he would just like know what to do.
Oh, that's cute.
Dog whisperer.
I'm a dog whisperer.
Right.
It's because he'd be tearing up heck of he used to tear up hella shit in my room. I'd be so mad. Bless Yorkie Terriers.
Yeah.
That sounds like a lot of work.
Oh yeah.
I had 2 cats. Remember I told you I had cats? Remember? Eric,
and then?
Remember?
Don't we remember?
Okay. I remember I told you I had cats, and I was like a cat person, but then I had to get rid of them. I said, Their doo-doo stinks so bad.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my God, their pee.
I can imagine.
It's the worst. It's like the worst smell. But yeah. I'm not a cat person anymore.
I heard during this time, people are adopting more animals.
Really?
For company?
For company.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I guess I can see that.
You know?
I feel like animals are like, I don't know. They're fun at first, but then they start to get big and you're like, ah.
Yeah, you just kind of disown them.
You're like, you're
are you going
awake?
to college soon? Get out of here.
You still asking
Talking
for
to a hamster.
food?
But yeah, I feel, and this, I have a question for you guys. So, in this quarantine, and what would you say that you have learned about yourself, and how would you utilize that to shed a light for people listening? Something new that you had to like, you've never known that you are capable of doing, and just send out positive vibes, to send out like, oh, I can do that too, you know?
Yeah.
Like one thing would be like meditation. You know? I think meditation has been going through our heads, and I think that meditation is a very important thing. You know, really getting in tune with yourself, being more understandable with yourself. Those kinds of, for me, I burn when I go outside in the front door. I burn sage, you know, and sometimes the smell of sage is something that was a little off-putting for me, almost like frankincense. But
yeah,
I'm starting to, one of the biggest things that I've learned and I'm taking note of was, you know, the quote they say, stop and smell the roses. I've never taken that into consideration, to where, because like Cheryl, I've been always on the go. I've been doing this and this and this and this. But when I had to learn how to pause and then smell the rose, I'm like, this is probably not me at this point, or this has never been me. But now that I have, I've been learning like new things about myself, new aspects of my creativity, and how I view the world, how I view things. And I come to appreciate, I don't point fingers and say like, oh, that person is awful. Like Cardi B. Yeah. This is a good example. I never liked Cardi B. If Cardi B, if you're watching this, don't hate me. But I look at her and I listen to the music, and I was like, you know what? She's a hardworking artist. Right. She makes music. People listen to it. Right. People enjoy it. She's doing her thing. So I guess I'm becoming to be more appreciative of a lot of things that I kind of disliked, and really find a light and a liking to it. So yeah,
I kind of want to jump in. I kind of want to say I've learned to be more grateful, and the reason why is because, and I'm sorry, that's like super overarching for me, because I'm kind of spoiled, because like I'm the only son with my mom, so like I was always, and I'm like very hard on myself, and like I'm quite judgmental at times, to be honest with you, even though I'm hella chill, like I am, and like I felt like, look, just put that out there, but like I feel like during this time, just to have a shelter, like, you know, always be like, oh, you know, I want to move and this and that. And like, you know, just knowing that people don't have the things that like I have, or that we have, right? And just like, it was reassuring, especially during this time, because it's just like, this has never happened to us. Like the world has literally shut the fuck down. Like the world has stopped right now. Yeah. And the fact that, you know, I'm actually okay, you know, like I think, for me, that means everything. So like I'm, for example, today, right, earlier, I went to Target. I was in San Leandro, and I was looking, you know, and everything is clean out, and I was like, oh shit, like I need some vitamin C. Went there was no vitamin C. I was ready to like have a fit with one of the employees, like, bitch, where's the vitamin C? Like, why don't you guys have it? Like, why am I restocked? But like, honestly, I have to check I have to check myself. Like, wait, like, no, like that, no, there's people that can't even come into the store. People are not working. They don't have a check to come and buy these things, right?
Mhm.
So it's just really being like grateful is something I learned about
Yeah.
myself, just to step outside of like my normal, like,
Yeah.
demanding, like I can get this, like, not, I don't want to say like, what's the word, like brainwashed, but like not ignorant either, but like oblivious. Like I was super oblivious to life, and like,
Yeah.
you know, I think this was the biggest like wake up call for me, like to appreciate everything, even if you hate it, right? Even if it's something that you dislike highly, because guess what you're going through is way better than the next person. Like there's a lot of homeless people right now, and it's like they could be infected, and they also could be dying, and we don't have those numbers because people don't know that these people really exist, if that makes sense. So like,
Mhm.
yeah, I would say just
Mm-hmm.
grateful. That's what I learned about myself. Just grateful, be grateful.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Good.
awesome.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
definitely, um, I think I've become less judgmental, you know. I'm pretty transparent, and if I find myself doing something a lot, there's always room for improvement. And I feel like
Right.
now, just off of the people having, I could say we all judge, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And I
Right.
feel like now, I think as a whole, we're all appreciating people that work at Walmart, people that, work at these stores. They're risking their lives, people who work at these fast
Yeah.
food places and Starbucks and everything. And I just see the difference, because when you're waiting for your drink, they want to talk to you. They're like, look, they're like a soldier on the front line. Hey,
Yeah.
Yeah.
how are you doing? How is it out there? How are you coping? You're like, oh my
Right.
goodness, getting into
Yeah.
this, even though we're in a pandemic, I'm still having this, this talk with you, and I'm understanding your situation. And, even though I'm
Right.
working here, I appreciate you. Thank you. It's just,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
it's just crazy. It's like God is kind of like even out the playing field in a way,
Yeah.
because
Yes. Yep.
it's like the government wasn't
Yep.
behind this, so they're going crazy. It's just like, yes, Mother Nature. She's like, I'm tired of my
Yeah.
children.
The true Beyonce.
Right.
Yeah.
I need a spanking.
They need a spanking.
Okay.
Yeah.
But,
So that, like,
uh,
for sure, expressing gratitude, in any season of our lives is always something that I've practiced, and everyone who knows me really well, like, gone through a lot of things, and just always practicing gratitude and expressing that and having that gratitude mindset no matter what has been embedded on me. But this is definitely another level of like expressing gratitude. Like, I have friends who are in the medical field. They are first responders, frontliners that are affected, or know people directly that are greatly affected, and who have been who've caught the virus. So it's tough to see that,
Yeah.
or hear stories from people that are so close. So for me, expressing gratitude in a much more endearing and very like, very, very like a genuine way, I feel like
Right.
I have learned to just really be appreciative and voice that out more than ever. Like, even thank you. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I think I remember when I first started being in quarantine, working from home, I took time to just text everyone I knew who was like kind of in the medical field to just
Mm-hmm.
show my gratitude. And then also just learning to the idea of letting go. And like, there's a lot of things that we cannot control, like the way people react. A lot of people have responded to this pandemic differently, and the way people react to you. I've noticed that people are driving crazier on the road too. Like, when I have
Yes.
to do a quick errand, like, I
Yes.
have been cut off multiple more times than I have in normal traffic.
Right.
And I'm just like, don't be acting crazy. Like,
Right.
I'm starting to see, you know, these, and I'm learning to not be so, I guess, react negatively, and also learning to let things go more, like, okay,
Right.
just like brush it off, because
Yeah.
there's a bigger picture in all this.
Right.
And people are moody, and I feel like I need to not let that get to me. And to
Yeah.
me, that's like a lot of
Yes.
work. For me, it's like when
Yes.
people are just so moody, I'm like, okay, I know it's because like they're going through this
Yes.
like pandemic, but I need to learn
Right.
to like let it go, but
Right.
also just be grateful, like gratitude with everything.
Right.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, just learning to, okay, like I can't control that, so let's just like
Right.
you can only control what you can. And so
Right.
Right.
my attitude is gratitude, you know?
My
So
Right.
I think learning to
attitude.
adjust with that, and just being
Yeah.
like, okay, like it's gonna be okay. And also like it's easy to like get lost into thoughts like what's gonna happen in a month from now. And also like, you know, it being
Right.
my birthday month this month, like,
Oh,
Oh
and it's my,
yeah.
my milestone 30th. So I thought I was gonna do
right.
something really fun, but
Welcome
now
to the
I'm
crew.
not. And you know,
Mm.
at first it didn't bother me as much, but then later on I think it kind of like hit me like, no, you're literally gonna be quarantined. Then I
Mhm.
started getting a little emotional about it, but then I just let it go again. And I think that letting go mentality, I've learned to practice so much more. And even though
Right.
it's challenging, it's the only way I can to get through this.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
yeah, it's been
Yeah.
tough, but yeah, it's a lot of like mind
Yeah.
games. It really truly is.
But you know, when this is over, we're gonna have a block party. We're gonna have a
Oh,
we're
Oh
gonna
my
celebrate
God. Can't wait.
we gonna have,
Every March and
it's
April
just,
baby. We're gonna celebrate all of those at the same time.
oh, for sure. I'm
Everyone's back
there for it.
birthday.
Ready.
My birthday was in January. It's my party now.
Wait,
Oh my
I know, it's like, what?
God.
Yeah, I mean, from what I heard, I think this is gonna go on until like maybe the end of summer.
Yeah. I'm not gonna even fly. I feel like this whole
Well,
year.
I
Yeah.
feel like the
Yeah.
decline is gonna happen sometimes in the summer, but for this be done, maybe
Because
like,
it's supposed to come
yeah,
back,
closer
right?
to
It's supposed to
fall.
come back, go away, and then for 3 months and then come back, right? Did
I
you guys
didn't
hear
hear
I mean, I
about
that?
don't
that. Did you
necessarily.
know?
I didn't hear about
Yeah.
I heard it's gonna peak in
Yeah.
May and then decline by the end of summer.
that.
Yeah. And then it's going to go away for 3 months and then it's supposed to come back by fall or
I
late
mean,
fall. I don't know.
if they declare it as an endemic, then yeah. But I don't think they had yet. I mean, at first they said it was, but
Yeah. It's
all I
And
speculation at
wanted
this
is to
supposedly,
go
point.
to a bar and drink.
Shoot,
oh my,
2020, y'all is canceled.
2020?
20 is
2020 is just,
canceled.
We'll pick it back up in 2021, okay?
Right.
No,
Let's
we'll see
do
what.
it.
Yeah, the next episode is in 2021.
I know, right?
Right.
Well, I think they're not going to come up with a vaccine until 12 to 18 months
Mm,
since this started.
Oh,
So,
wow.
yes, shelter from home might be lifted, but there's still not like a complete cure, if
yeah.
I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
Right.
So,
yeah. But like what you said, we only can do what we can control,
Right.
and
mm-hmm.
considerably what's essential now,
Mm-hmm.
and how we can adapt and help each other. I think that's the number one thing, just helping each
Yeah.
other.
Mm-hmm.
And even
It's
after
always
this,
giving
like
back.
there are, yeah. I mean, there's businesses that they're going to need support, and I think when that comes back, we're going to be those frontliners to help those businesses.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Right.
I never would have thought 2020 was gonna be like this, y'all. This is
Uh,
crazy.
no one
Oh yeah.
had any idea.
Oh my gosh. Like, I knew
idea.
2019 was like getting ready. I felt like that was the year that affected a lot of people in a sense of preparing, getting ready, change. It is just
Right.
like 2019 will go down in the books for just everything. Everyone's life was changed in 2019, and I feel like this just it prepared us to what we're experiencing right now. Because before the coronavirus, it's just like I got a word, and I don't know who was talking about this earlier, but it was very simple. I can't control anybody but myself, and it was like before this all happened, and people say this, you say it, everyone says it, but until it resonates within yourself or your actions are following, when you're not getting offended with people's actions or situations, everything, you know, you can let people back into your life, but you know kind of how like to deal with them. I felt like, thank God I had that word before all of this, because I would be thinking like, what can I do to, you know, you just go out of your mind. But when you have that piece of, I can't control anything, I'm just here.
Right.
So let's just let it go.
You know,
let it go.
It's a piece. It's definitely a piece, and I appreciate just getting that before this wave of chaos and confusion and whatnot. So
yeah.
And Jade, I kind of want to go back to your question on what's keeping us sane during this time. I think even like this live is keeping us sane, right? To actually talk about these issues, I think is pivotal, honestly.
Yeah, definitely.
It goes back to like you know, mental health, like where people are is hesitant to talk about certain things like that. And I think that what people are having an issue or having a problem is talking about what they're dealing emotionally during this quarantine.
Right.
You know, and it's hard to be heard because everyone's going through the same thing.
Right.
But the case that individuals and this kind of podcast, what we're doing is for because we're a table of POC, you know, and if anybody can relate to how we're feeling, I mean, we're doing our job, you know, this conversation. And I think that it's great that people should talk about what they're dealing emotionally and what they're, because it's like when you lost something, the best way to forget it or to move on is to talk about it.
Right.
And that will allow you to open new paths and understand what you need to do to reinvent, to move forward. And I think that everyone should talk about what they're feeling and what they're going through. Regardless who it is. So that way they know that they're safe, that they know that they're in the right path, that they know what to do to better themselves during this quarantine.
Right. And I feel like in this quarantine, people have more time to kind of just think, what is my purpose? Right.
Exactly.
I want to expel upon that. You know, have you guys came close? Do you guys, what is purpose to you guys? Because I think as humans, we put kind of a lot of pressure on ourselves, you know, feeling like purpose has to be this big, this talent that you have to go and get famous and make so much money. Then I found my purpose. But you don't know, purpose could be just this. It could be passing somebody along, saying encouraging words, or helping a homeless person with some money. Maybe that'll trickle down to maybe them not being homeless anymore. But I feel like when people pass, your purpose is fulfilled. So we're all still here within our purpose. So so purpose to me is kind of like anything in a sense, right? And I just feel like that's always been, because I'm like, I strive for perfection, and I want my life to be purposeful. But when you take off that pressure, you can kind of go with the flow more, and your purpose becomes your flow. So
So there's a saying that I heard not too long ago, piggybacking on the purpose. I forgot who wrote it. I know it was he wrote a novel about it, but he said, if you took away the understanding of how people judge you, if you took that away and you took away how you judge yourself, how far would you be at right now? Because that contributes to your purpose, to like taking things for the grain of salt and letting things go. because we feel like beforehand, I mean, to be honest, when I figured what my purpose was, I felt that my purpose had to be a certain way because how society expected it and how I expected it.
Right.
Right.
And when I read that, I was like, okay, let me take away that judgment. Let me take away my judgment. Let me take away anyone else's judgment, and I'll let it go and see where that takes me. I believe that's what it will eventually take me to my ultimate purpose.
Right.
So
right. Yeah.
the expectation of like figuring out like if I think what's hard is, you know, the old saying, people think about point A and point B, but they never think about the journey between because we don't know what point B is, you know?
Right.
So yeah.
What about you guys?
Purpose, for me, I think is an everyday task. I think my purpose is to leave a positive impact to anyone I encounter. My purpose is to be an example as well. So like my experiences and my story can be inspiring to others. So that would be my purpose. So take what I've gone through personally and let that be an example that if I was able to go through that, like, and I can be where I'm at today, you can most definitely do the same. So purpose is kind of like inspiring others through your own story and inspiring others that, you know, like if you are passionate about something, take that, and that can be the vehicle to multiple like ideas and you know, new projects. Like for example, when you know, you did your mixer, Jade, right? You took what you were passionate about and made it and used your creativity toward like as your vehicle to produce that. So for me, I think when you have your passion as your vehicle, it can take you to endless possibilities, but also you know, also showing that, you know, you're perfect, and so that you've been through is a reason why you're where you're at today, and that you can manifest greater things even though you've gone through like not so great things. So just leaving a positive impact on a daily basis and letting people know that, you know, that you're always there to listen to, because sometimes maybe no one has, some people doesn't have like an outlet to utilize. So just being like, you know, an open book and letting people know that you're someone that they can talk to. Yeah, that's purpose. That's living with a purpose. And I think when you live your life every day with a purpose, you are more fulfilled and you feel a lot like you're living life for like for a reason, you know, because there's purpose. If you live your life just kind of like nonchalantly with no purpose, it's like, then what are you living for, you know? So even the small purposes and then the, you know, the bigger purposes, I think all make for you know, a fulfilling life.
Yeah, definitely feel that.
How about you, Eric?
I think for me, and it's such a great question and it's so deep. Purpose is one of those questions where I can't really answer, and I always struggle with the answer to that question. The reason being is because I struggle with really truly understanding what my purpose is, you know? And I always like maybe like different like the difference for me is like there's destiny and there's fate. And I feel like destiny is the purpose and fate is whatever I want it to be. So I can tell you about what, or I'm sorry, it's the other way around. Fate is the purpose. Destiny is what I, you know, want my destiny to be. So I will say during this time and at this point, just really being like humble and, you know, being a giving person, just ensuring that life is not about me, and to ensure that I can somehow be the medicine to others out there that maybe need it, in terms of like making them laugh. If I have some extra food handy during this time, definitely give it. Like on my block where I live, because I do live in Oakland, it's always people in need outside, on the street. So I definitely give when I can, and just just being grateful, just really and personally, I will say, just understanding that I am enough, and really being my true self, and being okay with that, right? Like, at work, like not comparing myself to the next person, just really being myself, and not worrying about being accepted, if that makes sense, by anybody. And just moving forward, like just being positive, not being like a negative person, not you
Yeah.
know not tripping about things that don't matter, right? We were talking about earlier about, like, once this is all over, will people still go to buy like these luxury things, or will they kind of have like a different frame of mind where they're more like understanding, more humble in that sense, right? With like your paycheck, and just really understanding like what's necessary, what matters, and energy too, like putting energy to what matters, right? And not wasting that, whether it be people, whether it be things, co-workers, like all of the above, right? I think this is definitely teaching me, and not just me, everyone else, about like growth and truly understanding yourself, like what really matters versus what doesn't. Like, you know getting a haircut every week, does it really matter? Like, to be honest with you, like 3 weeks no shave, nothing, I'm on camera, and to me this is normal. But like prior to this pandemic, I would not do this, like I would not want to be seen on camera, because I
Yeah.
would feel like I'm not fresh. So it's like we're really learning about ourselves.
What
Like,
really
we
matters.
really are. What
Yeah.
really matters. Like, we
Yeah.
really are.
Living more
Mhm.
practically,
Right.
Living more practically.
And that's why I feel like the reset button was pressed, because it needed to. We're already in 5G. And you know what they say about, 5G being the all that's
Right.
gonna allow sickness and all kinds of stuff to happen. So it's like a preliminary phase that it's like a practice round that we are in at this moment, because all hell is about to break loose.
Mhm.
So just knowing what you can do better when situation occur like this is, I think, what we need to learn, and to be better people, because this world can't operate if it doesn't operate with love. And I
it's like
feel
warming us
Right.
up, right? It's like
huh?
warming us up for
Oh,
whatever might happen, because this is like maybe
definitely.
just like, right here. And
Mm-hmm.
then
Right.
more that we learn to like be stronger and a little bit
Right.
more thick skinned, then we
Mhm.
can
Right.
like take on the next level and the next
Yeah.
level. And I think as long as we're progressing, we're doing something.
And I feel like
Mm.
Right.
people, you have to progress. And
Right.
well, that's a hard thing for a lot of people to do, change. And we're all realizing,
Right.
like, okay, do you want to die? Because that's how you're gonna die if you don't change. So,
Right.
like, do you want to go
Right.
to the grave, or do you want to keep on going? Like, okay.
Facts.
Right.
Yeah.
That's facts. That's facts, Brittany.
Ooh, okay. It's a
Well,
very exciting time, though.
Yeah.
it is, in a way.
Eye opening.
Yeah. If you see it in a way where it's like a way of light, there's always going to be something, like what they say, there's a rainbow after the storm, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm
Right.
sure it's going to be a bright rainbow, a
Just
beautiful
looking for it. Rainbow.
We're
Let me
searching
ask,
in this rain.
rainbow.
I want to pose this question. Like, do you guys think there will be some positives after this whole COVID-19, once we, get out of this? Like, what positives, if so, do you think this could create?
I mean, I think there will definitely be some positives. I think that, now that we aren't really doing much, I feel like we're nurturing more relationships, whether it just be, virtually. And I think coming out of this, yes, we'll probably have gained more friendships, um, relationships than we would have had if we were always on the go, like right now,
Right.
like we're nurturing this relationship, this
Right.
friendship, this group, because this is the time to do so. So yes, I see that part being positive
Yeah.
after COVID.
Right. Right.
I think people are going to be more you know
open to like helping others. I think so.
I think communication will definitely rise, because that's all we can do now. And everyone used to say, "Oh, I don't have the time." Now that time is all you got. I feel with communication is understanding. With understanding, there's love. I really feel like frequency, as far as everyone, it's rising, and we don't even know it.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of spiritual work being done in the background.
Right. What about you, Jade?
Of course, it's gonna be positive. I feel like there's gonna be a ton of new ways of how we look and interact with each other, especially how we contribute to businesses and how we contribute to each other. Communication is going to be more, I guess you can say, more developed in a sense where it's more positive. Because back in the days, everyone was always looking for the latest scoop. Everyone was trying to find something negative or someone to point fingers at to feel like their opinion was valid. And in a way, it's okay. You know, you have your own voice, you have your own expression. But I like to be the person that thinks about, like, what if that expression was positive? You know, it doesn't have to be necessarily always negative. And I think that at this time, it's like that's the only road to go, because like when this is all said and done and everything has been settled, when you look at somebody else, someone that you haven't seen or someone new, I mean, you're not gonna smack them in the face and say like, "This is my first interaction with you." You know, you're gonna go up and be like, "You know what? It feels great to talk to somebody. This is who I am. How have you been? What did you go through?" You know, and this, like, one of the things that I've always wanted to want people to be aware is mental health. You know, because it's always been thought of as a second, like a brush on a shoulder. And every time I brought something that's considerably around my health, you know, it's always like, "Oh, well, Jay, that's just a fad. That's just not a fad. That's just a phase." But at the same time, it's like going after this and talking about it. It's like, well, if you're saying that you felt this way during the quarantine was a phase, then my anxiety was a phase, you know, like, but at the same time, I feel like it's opening a whole new realm, a whole new world, a perspective with everyone, because what people thought was just a certain feeling is what they're feeling now. So I feel, in a positive note, we're going to change in humanity. We're going to change a little certain appreciation and understanding what's essential. And you know, we can't say, I don't want to say, and I don't want to encourage or say that anything that anybody's passionate about is not relevant. You know, it's going to be appreciated more. So I don't want to say like, "Oh, that was a fad," or that whatever you had passion for is not relevant or validated anymore. But I feel, in a positive note, because of what we're going through, it means more to anyone listening and connecting than you know?
Yeah.
It's that light that we're trying to, it's a new light, a new positive light that we're trying to find. And yeah, I mean, it's a testament was you can see a lot of people who were these channels, I'm not going to name names, that just kind of like slander people's names, you know, and now they're not doing it. They're not doing it. So there's no foundation. There's no point of doing that anymore.
Exactly.
Agreed.
I don't really want to. I mean, to me, that's a fad. I mean, talking shit and being negative is a fad.
Right. Because when they go to that mirror at the end of the day,
Look, how does that even?
Right. Look, you like it what you see.
Oh my God.
I feel like it's inevitable. We're still, I feel, once this is said and done, we're still going to have that bit of us where we're still judgmental. We're still fearful. We're still, because anything new and sometimes things that we can't control, we tend to, you know, have an opinion about it. But what I believe is after this, we're willing to step back and kind of like structure our opinion to be like, why am I going to say this when I know that I can put some sort of positive light to it instead of like automatically judge a certain perspective and say something negative.
Right.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sure. I get it.
And it's, sometimes you got to think like, it's not you, it's them.
Right.
That's what they want to do.
That's what they want to do.
It's not necessarily a bad thing unless they're hurting someone physically.
I heard on this podcast ways to decrease anxiety, and one of them was put 30 minutes or however many minutes aside to worrying in your day. Only that time.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, that's smart. You literally, because you don't have the time to worry all day. It actually stops you from doing what you need to do. But if you set aside, okay, at 2:00 to 2:10, I'm gonna worry about what I need to worry about, and then at 2:10, I'm gonna continue.
Mm-hmm.
But you're just disciplining yourself to go where you need to go. And I feel like this is probably just actually increasing our individual discipline, because now if you don't have a job, you have to, okay, what am I going to do today? How am I going to make myself better than yesterday? Mm-hmm. And I'm sure we get on ourselves if we don't do anything, but that's just the manager within all of us,
That's true.
A lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of businesses are going to be created out of this because you have time and you're realizing, wow, I can make for myself, like, it's just,
yeah.
It's good.
But we have about 15 minutes. Do you guys want any last questions, any shout outs, anything that you want to share to shed some light? Any dance moves you want to?
I know, right? Look, a little dance break.
You put that music back on.
Right.
For 15 minutes.
Right, for 15 minutes.
Now, I just hope overall that, what we're doing, we can definitely inspire people like Cheryl was saying. So,
yeah. Yeah, I would say, like, don't be afraid to talk about this moment, this time that you're going through. Because you might find something in it that might inspire you to make a change, or do something that creatively or mentally, physically.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it's comforting for other people to see, like, oh, like, they're in the same boat. I'm not alone. So
yeah,
it's going to be okay,
Mm-hmm.
And they see that so that they don't feel so isolated almost, because we're all doing, our own thing too, but we come together to share, come together to collaborate our thoughts, and something that we might be thinking, someone else might be thinking too. So it's good to share.
Yeah.
And that is what the wooden table talk is.
Sharing is caring.
Sharing is caring.
Sharing is caring.
But on the flip side, any other like updates?
Updates? Oh,
He was like, we are all alive and free.
We're all alive.
Okay, let's do one more cute like screenshot.
Okay.
But it's like hard for me to do it. Okay. Should we do like funny face?
No, we don't got time for that.
No problem. If you are about this cup, I got it from Disneyland.
Ooh.
I know, I was staring at your cup.
I got a Harry Potter mug that like changes color when it's hot. Do you know those mugs?
Oh, wow.
I just like back in the 90s.
Huh?
I was like back in the 90s, right?
No, I got it like 2 years ago.
Oh, that sounds like it. You know what I miss? I miss mood rings. I love the mood
God.
rings.
Mood rings.
Like, oh my God,
Okay, let's say this for
Tell me
another
what mood
episode,
I'm
guys,
in.
okay?
Okay.
Like we
We're
can't
gonna talk about the 90s for another episode.
Okay,
Right.
let's do a screen. Okay, let's just do regular and then we could do funny.
Okay.
Okay.
That was awkward, but it was.
Okay, and then we can do like funny. Oh, okay. 1, 2, 3. Or
Oh,
no,
you
it's
like
hard
it.
to do it without. Okay, we could do I don't know, like I like this.
Okay.
The mug.
Like we got some tea.
We got that Lipton tea.
Mm.
This is air.
Okay. I don't know. What else did you guys want to do? Let's do one laughing. I don't know. I tried to do some candid ones, but
Was I supposed to stop the recording?
Bye.
So before we stop, you guys, so go ahead and follow each one of us. Our names are right here: Brittany, Cheryl, Eric, Jade. We will love to do more episodes. Looking forward for the wooden table talk. Those who are viewing this, you can go ahead and message us, DM us personally if you want to send us some questions you'd like us to answer. We'll answer it for you on our next episode. We'll come together and also post when the next episode will come. Our live stream will be coming.
Yes.
We will do a live stream.
okay, yeah.
So yeah, keep in touch for the wooden table talk. My name is Jade.
My name is Brittany.
Cheryl.
I'm Eric. Oh, and I'm Eric.
Oh, you are Eric. All right, thank you guys for watching, and we look forward to any comments and look forward for you guys to watch our next episode. This is the quarantine.
Thank you.